The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets overhead as Mr. Harlan's voice cracked through the stale air of room 204. Alex, stay after class. We need to talk about your distractions. His eyes, usually warm like aged whiskey, now pierced me with something sharper. Accusation. I froze in my seat, heart slamming against my ribs, because I knew exactly what he meant. And the boy 2 rows over, the one I'd been stealing glances at for months, suddenly wouldn't meet my gaze. Logan's knuckles whitened around his pencil as the bell rang, a shrill escape that scattered the room like shrapnel. But I couldn't move, pinned by the weight of unspoken secrets, the kind that could unravel everything in this godforsaken small-town high school where whispers traveled faster than the Mississippi wind. When the door clicked shut behind the last straggler, Mr. Harlan locked it, click, and turned to me with a smile that didn't reach his eyes, the one that said, "I've got you now." That afternoon in September, the air in Willow Creek, Ohio, hung heavy with the promise of fall, crisp leaves crunching underfoot on the cracked sidewalks of our fading industrial town, where the steel mills had long since rusted into ghosts. I was 18, a senior at Willow Creek High, the kind of kid who blended into the lockers. Alex Rivera, half Mexican on my mom's side, with a mop of unruly black hair that refused gel and eyes that my abuela swore could charm the devil. School was my escape from the double-wide trailer on Elm Street, where Dad's Budweiser breath and Mom's weary sighs formed the soundtrack to our evenings. Literature class, though Mr. Harlan's domain was where I came alive. He was the teacher who quoted Whitman like scripture, who paced the front of the room in his tweed jackets and scuffed loafers, making us believe words could rewrite the world. And then there was Logan. God, Logan Hayes. He slid into my orbit like a comet that first week of junior year, all golden retriever energy wrapped in a quarterback's frame. 6'2", with sun-bleached blonde hair that fell just so over his forehead, and green eyes that sparkled like the Ohio River after a storm. He wasn't the brightest bulb, struggled with metaphors like they were calculus, but he had this laugh, deep and unfiltered, that cut through the monotony. We bonded over detention, of all places, me for skipping to read Vonnegut under the bleachers, him for mouthing off to coach about unfair plays. By homecoming, we were inseparable, late-night drives in his beat-up Ford F-150 to the quarry, blasting Springsteen, sharing stolen sips from a flask of cheap whiskey. It started innocent, the way these things do in a town where faggot is still slung like loose change. A brush of hands passing the football, his knee lingering against mine during movie nights at my place when Mom was pulling doubles at the diner. But by summer's end, as fireflies lit up the fields behind his family's farm, it ignited. Our first kiss happened under the stars, his lips tasting of salt and hesitation, my hands trembling as they traced the line of his jaw. "This doesn't make us. You know," he whispered, but his eyes said otherwise. We were careful, texts deleted, alibis airtight, but in the quiet of his truck bed, wrapped in a quilt stolen from his grandma's linen closet, we were free. "I love you, Alex," he murmured one night, his breath warm against my neck, and I believed him, bone deep. Mr. Harlan noticed. Of course he did. He had this way of seeing through the bullshit, dissecting our essays like they held the secrets of the universe. "Your writing's got fire lately, Rivera," he'd say, leaning over my desk, his cologne, sandalwood and something forbidden, lingering like a promise. I thought it was mentorship, the kind that made you feel seen in a place that chewed up dreamers. He was 35, divorced, with a laugh that echoed like thunder and a past he doled out in fragments. Yale dropout, poet in New York, back to Ohio to find himself. To me, he was a lighthouse in the fog. The distractions started small. A note slipped into my locker. Focus on the words, not the whispers. I laughed it off, chalked it up to teacher intuition. But then came the after-school tutoring, where he'd pour coffee from a thermos and probe. Tell me about this muse of yours. Does he see the boy who could conquer worlds? His questions danced too close to the bone, and I'd deflect with jokes. But his gaze held mine a beat too long. Logan teased me about it. Harlan's got a crush on your brain. Nerd. But there was an edge to his voice, a flicker of jealousy I dismissed as paranoia. By October, the leaves had turned blood red, mirroring the heat building between Logan and me. We'd sneak into the old mill ruins on weekends, the air thick with rust and river damp, our bodies mapping each other in the half-light. You're mine, he'd growl, pinning me against graffiti-scarred walls, and I'd arch into him, lost in the rhythm of us. But school was a minefield. Homophobic slurs from the jocks, sidelong glances from teachers who pretended not to see the way Logan's hand twitched away from mine in the hall. We endured, buoyed by stolen moments, until the Friday that shattered it all. Class that day was electric, Harlan dissecting The Great Gatsby, his voice rising like a sermon on lost illusions. Logan sat rigid, scribbling furiously, avoiding my eyes. I'd sent him a text that morning. Miss you already. Corey tonight. And gotten radio silence. When the bell rang, Harlan's words pinned me. Alex. A word. Logan's chair scraped as he bolted, shoulder clipping mine without apology. The room emptied, and the lock clicked. He didn't waste time. I saw you too. In the parking lot. Last Tuesday. His voice was low, laced with something dark. Disappointment? Desire? My stomach plummeted. The kiss, quick and desperate behind Logan's truck. After practice. We thought we were alone. It's not what you think, I stammered. But he stepped closer. Close enough I could see the stubble shadowing his jaw. Oh, Alex. It's exactly what I think. And it's beautiful. Raw. But dangerous in a place like this. Relief flooded me he wasn't outing us. But then he pulled out his phone, screen glowing with screenshots. My texts to Logan, intimate fragments. Can't stop thinking about your hands on me. God, I need you. Stolen from. How? Logan showed you? The betrayal hit like a sucker punch. Harlan's smile twisted. No, kid. I took them. From his phone. During grading. He left it unlocked. Thought I was helping, guiding him through his. Confusion. Confusion. The word curdled in my gut. Logan had left his phone? Trusted Harlan with our secrets? Why? I whispered, backing into a desk, the edge biting my thighs. Harlan's hand shot out, gripping my shoulder. Not hard, but firm, anchoring. Because I see you, Alex. Both of you. Wasted on fumbling in shadows when you could have more. His thumb brushed my collarbone, a spark that ignited revulsion and something worse, curiosity. Let me show you what real passion looks like. I shoved him away, heart hammering. You're my teacher. This is fucked up. But he laughed, soft and knowing. And Logan's just a boy playing at love. I can give you the world. Poetry slams in Chicago. Galleries in New York. Away from this shithole. The door rattled, someone outside. But he ignored it, closing the distance again. His lips hovered near mine, breath mingling, and for one traitorous second, I didn't pull back. Then the door burst open. Logan stood there, key in hand, face pale as milk. What the hell? Harlan. His eyes flicked to me, to the space between us, and something died there. Accusation. Betrayal. You think I'd with him? I choked out, but Logan was already turning, storming down the hall, the slam of the exit door echoing like a gunshot. That night, the quarry was silent save for the frogs' chorus. I waited hours, truck lights cutting the dark, but Logan never came. My texts bounced unread, calls went to voicemail. Desperation clawed at me. Please, talk to me. It wasn't what it looked like. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving, and I drove home to silence. Mom's shift leaving the trailer empty, Dad's hangover snoring from the couch. Monday was hell. Logan avoided me like plague, sitting with the jocks, laughing too loud at their cracks. Harlan's class, he breezed through, acing a pop quiz, but his eyes, those green eyes, were steel when they met mine. After, Harlan pulled me aside again. Give him time. Boys like Logan, they run from truth. I yanked free, whispering, stay the fuck away from us. But the damage festered. Whispers spread. Rivera's banging the coach. No, the teacher. Jocks cornered me in the bathroom, fists itching. Fairy's got a sugar daddy, one sneered, and I swung wild, splitting my knuckle on teeth. Suspension followed 3 days, during which Logan texted once, we need to end this. It's too much. No explanation, just a knife twist. I confronted him at his locker, the hall emptying like a bad dream. What happened to us? To I love you? Tears burned, but I held them. Logan's jaw clenched, voice a rasp. Saw you with Harlan. The way you looked at him. Like you wanted it. Lies. All of it. But doubt poisoned me. Had I hesitated? Flinched wrong? He showed me the texts, Logan continued, eyes glassy. Our texts. Said you'd been talking to him about me. Like I was some experiment. Harlan. The puppet master. He'd twisted our words, planted seeds of jealousy. He's lying. He stole them, but Logan shook his head, backing away. Doesn't matter. This town's eating us alive. I can't. I won't be that guy. The finality crushed me. He walked away, leaving me hollow, the bell mocking my sobs. Weeks blurred into a numb routine. Harlan's advances grew bolder, notes in my essays, your vulnerability is intoxicating. I burned them in the trailer sink, the smoke stinging my eyes. Logan dated Sarah Jenkins, cheer captain, their hand-holding in the cafeteria a public execution. I threw myself into books, skipping meals, running the quarry paths until my lungs screamed. Mom noticed, her hands rough from dishwater cupping my face. Mijo, whatever it is, passes. Love always does. But she didn't know the half, the teacher who'd weaponized my heart, the boy who'd shattered it. Thanksgiving brought a fragile truce. Logan's family hosted the potluck at the community center, strings of lights twinkling against the autumn chill. I almost skipped, but Mom insisted, family's family, even the broken ones. There, amid turkey and awkward small talk, Logan cornered me by the punch bowl. Alex. I'm sorry. His voice cracked, eyes red-rimmed. Sarah was inside, laughing with cousins. This was stolen, like us. Harlan told me more. About the phone. I was an idiot. Relief warred with rage. Why'd you believe him? He shrugged. Helpless. Scared. Of losing football. My dad. Everything. But losing you? Worse. His hand found mine under the tablecloth. A ghost of touch that reignited embers. We talked, whispered, really about running away after graduation, scraping scholarships to Kent State, building a life where love wasn't a crime. By dessert, we were us again, tentative kisses in the shadowed parking lot, his tears mixing with mine. But Harlan wasn't done. December's snow-blanketed Willow Creek in White Lies. He called me to his office, door ajar like temptation. I know about the potluck, he said, leaning back in his creaky chair, tie loosened. Foolish boy. Logan's using you a phase, until college girls turn his head. Venom dripped, but I saw the hurt beneath. A man who'd chased beauty and found only regret. You're wrong, I shot back. And you're done meddling. His laugh was bitter. Meddling? I'm saving you. From heartbreak. He stood, rounding the desk, hand on my arm. Let me prove it. The kiss he planted brief, insistent, tasted of desperation, not desire. I recoiled, shoving him hard. Touch me again, and I report you. The threat hung, real now, and fear flashed in his eyes. For the first time, he was the small one. Christmas break was ours. Logan and I drove to Cleveland. The city lights a neon promise against the lake's frozen expanse. We holed up in a cheap motel, bodies entwined under threadbare sheets, whispering futures. Apartments in Columbus, poetry readings where I'd read for him. You're my anchor, he said, tracing tattoos on my ribs, carpe diem, inked on a dare. Laughter healed cracks. Love mended fractures. January thawed the ice, but not the storm. Harlan escalated. Anonymous emails to the principal. Inappropriate conduct between students. Rumors swirled anew, targeting us. Coach benched Logan. Focus on the game, son. And my grades tanked under the scrutiny. We fought. Vicious words in the truck. This is your fault. Chasing some teacher fantasy, Logan yelled. My fault? You're the one who dated the prom queen to hide. Truth spilled like blood. The climax hit mid-February. Valentine's week. Under a sky bruised purple. Harlan summoned Logan alone. Academic probation talk. And I tailed him, heart in throat. Through the office window. Steam fogged from the radiator. I saw it. Harlan's hand on Logan's knee. Words too low to hear. Logan's face crumpling. Betrayal's second act. I burst in, door slamming like judgment. Get your hands off him. Chaos erupted. Logan recoiled. Harlan stammered. Misunderstanding. But the pieces fit. The stolen phone. The planted doubts. Harlan's lonely crusade to insert himself into our story. You orchestrated this, I accused. Voice steel. Jealous. Pathetic old man. Logan's eyes met mine. Apology raw. He said he could help us. Get out. Scholarships. Recommendations. I was desperate. Desperation. The word that excused too much. Harlan lunged, grabbing my wrist. You don't understand love. And in the scuffle, his phone clattered, screen alight with our texts, forwarded to school board emails. Evidence of his obsession. Logan snatched it, deleting as sirens wailed distant. Someone had called security. The fallout was biblical. Harlan suspended pending investigation. Whispers confirmed his history. Complaints from past students buried under tenure. Logan and I testified. Hands clasped under the table. Our truth a shield. The town turned. Protests at school board meetings. Rainbow flags in trailer windows. Mom hugged me fierce. Proud of you, Mijo. For fighting clean. Spring bloomed hesitant. Logan and I navigated the wreckage. Therapy sessions in the church basement. Runs along the river where we planned escapes. Graduation came under cherry blossoms. Caps tossed like confetti. Harlan's trial loomed summer. But we were gone by June. Greyhound to Ann Arbor. U of M accepting us both on late aid. The bus pulled away. Willow Creek shrinking to a speck. His head on my shoulder. Years later, in our cramped apartment overlooking Huron River, Logan's ring on my finger, simple gold, engraved always, I think back. Betrayal taught mercy, pain, resilience. Harlan, he faded to footnotes, a cautionary tale in ed journals. We built our world, him coaching Pee-wee, me teaching lit to wide-eyed kids, quoting Auden on love's quiet victories. In the end, the classroom moment didn't break us. It forged. And in America's heartland, where rivers bend but never break, we flowed on.